You are Jayavani.
Yes, sir.
This is a very common question every time people ask to tell about your name.
Yes, sir.
So any specific meaning or?
Yes, sir. So Jayavani means the one who excels in studies. So my dad had good aspirations for me.
People think Jayavani is the Jayalalitha's.
Yes. Yes, sir. But my dad only meant it for studies.
Yeah.
The one who wins.
But I thought this was named for one of her.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. What did you study?
So I studied electronics and communication engineering. Sir.
Have you prepared it?
Yes, sir. A bit.
You're not bit. Prepared well.
Yes, sure, sir.
Because today electronics and telecommunication is the backbone of all the current technologies.
Yes.
Okay. Including IoT, robotics.
Okay, sir.
Without them we can't think.
Yes, sir.
Communication,
Yes.
IoT, IT.
Yes.
So please prepare.
Sure.
Have you done any good project there at that time?
Yes, sir. So my final year project was about making digital products accessible for those who are visually impaired. We tried applying patent for it, but we were not able to get it.
Professor is an ENT expert.
Okay. Hello, ma'am.
What I was asking her, she said ENT. I asked her to prepare well because ENT today govern everything. Industry 4.0 without that's not possible. IoT, IT, anything is not possible. So please prepare well.
Sure, sir.
When with you, technology questions should come automatically.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Have you heard this term which is come in new education policy? Disruptive technologies.
Yes, sir.
What are they?
So those technologies would change which bring about a paradigm shift in the way we.
Which are those? Any of them you remember?
So artificial intelligence.
Okay.
And also the deep learning technologies associated with it.
Yeah, sometimes I get really puzzled why people talk separately for deep learning in AI. I thought AI without deep learning will not work. Will it work?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. It is an oversight.
No, I'm just trying to understand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I should have clubbed it all together as artificial intelligence.
Yeah. What is the next?
And nanotechnology.
But this is not disruptive anymore. But I accept.
Yes, sir.
Because then I'll,
Yes.
If you see nano, they'll ask you many questions.
Okay.
What is the nano scale? What is the application of nanotechnology in health? What is the nanomaterial?
Yes.
So you are open to, in electronics, a lot of use of nano.
Yes, sir.
You remember any nanotechnology?
So it was not part of the curriculum, and also I was not very aware about.
Maybe if you can pick up few things
Sure.
which happen in the embedded system, do you use any nanomaterials or? Have you heard a term called embedded systems?
Yes, sir.
What are embedded systems?
So embedded systems are it's a means to control hardware through software, sir. To put it simply.
The definition of the embedded system is very specific.
I'm not able to recall the exact definition, ma'am, but I'll definitely read about it.
It's always good because you are a subject expert.
Yes.
If there was anybody else, he can answer like this. What you broadly said is fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Sure.
Okay. What are your hobbies?
So I invest in stock markets. I also read.
The investment is fine, but how can this become hobby?
So I learn about personal finance and equities a lot. So I thought of putting it as a hobby.
Okay, so then be open to all kinds of
Questions.
on SEBI,
Nifty and all.
unethical practices in stock market.
Yes.
For personal finance, the stock market is a big risk. How do you calculate risk? What risk assessment one does? One only looks at the return, but nobody talks about risks.
Yes, sir.
How many people are in the market? How many are successful? Risk is automatically known.
Yes, sir.
You must be having some other hobbies before you started in this.
Yes, ma'am. One is blogging, ma'am. I blog about ethical marketing, and I also
Blog about
ethical marketing.
ethical marketing.
Yes, so marketing ethics generally.
Very strange.
So,
What do you mean by ethical marketing?
if there are certain unethical practices, or there is certain ethical practices that we see in commercials, I write about them.
What are the unethical practices in marketing?
Ma'am, lastly I wrote about NutriChoice biscuit. It is actually a good product, but to get the feel of eating something healthy, they add the rice husk. That is not adding any nutritive value to the product, but still it gives the feeling of eating something healthy, which would...
Why husk will be introduced? What does a husk do?
So it gives
You
a
know, for
bland
constipation,
feel. Yes.
It's
the people
fibrous.
use a husk,
Okay, sir.
and that is used for fiber.
Okay, sir.
So what is wrong?
Okay, sir.
So sometimes your lesser knowledge base may create.
Sure.
So blogging. How much you read before you blog?
So I try to do some research
So
before.
when you read this, you should have known
Okay.
that fiber is an important part of
And when it
digestive system.
contains some nutrients, so have you made that study? What nutrients or what vitamins or what is present in that?
Yes, ma'am. It is slightly higher in the fiber content than other biscuits in the market.
No, not biscuit. I'm asking about the rice husk only.
No, ma'am. I have not.
So that study first you should have done, and then you should have made the comment. But why it is unethical?
No, ma'am. It's not per se unethical, but what I mean to say was it gives a false illusion of eating certain products as healthy. Like if it has the same amount of calories, and also the 10 rupees NutriChoice biscuit has about 82% of maida, which is still not good for people having diabetes and other issues. So I thought that these things are, it is a better biscuit, but it's not as good as
They are
one
not
would like.
claiming that it is completely free of this thing.
In making biscuit, who are the authorities that check the claims?
The FSSAI gives a
Have FSI given them the certificate
yes, sir.
for the products they have mentioned?
Yes, sir.
So
From the health, so FSSAI also has given a lot of clearances for other products, including Maggi, and those are not
But
healthy.
they are mentioning everything. What
Yes.
are the contents? So
Yes.
they are not hiding
no,
it.
nothing is unhealthy. You see, this whole issue of health and unhealth. If you only eat Maggi, then it could be unhealthy. But if you eat Maggi once a month, it will not be unhealthy. Will it be unhealthy?
No, sir.
So
Yes.
my suggestion is, when you write blogs, you must educate yourself before writing a blog.
Sure. Sir.
Blog shouldn't come spontaneously. You're not liking something.
Okay, sir.
And
Is the cost very high of this biscuit?
No, sir. It's about the same as every other biscuit.
when you are appearing for this kind of interview, don't you think that this half knowledge, or when you are putting the thing without any study, so it will not be good for this kind of jobs or this kind of positions?
Yes.
You have to understand the entire.
This will only show that you are immature.
Okay.
So please take a right line. You can still use this. There are 2-3 issues in ethical marketing.
Okay.
One is this issue of overpricing
Okay.
of what is not. This is one issue which happens to most of the things. But anything which you advertise must not go against humanities or animals.
Cruelty.
In one of the marketing practices one time, they have shown teachers in a bad light. So that is unethical.
Okay.
There is a separate branch of marketing called ethical marketing. You have not read it.
I have not read books on it, sir. But I.
No, did you look at in your website? Ever put in ethical marketing?
No, sir.
At least do that whenever you write a blog.
Sure. Sure, sir. I'll do.
Because in this interview, they are selecting a future bureaucrat who would be 90% right.
Okay.
Understand the entire issue at least from all the angles. You know, right now what you have said is there is only one angle which you think nobody else is thinking that way only. So you should have that capacity to understand the things very clearly. So why I had asked you that question, because I wanted to know if there is any hobby or anything on which you can talk confidently.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Ma'am,
just mention that instead of going into this complicated things which you haven't studied in depth.
Okay, ma'am. Question, ma'am. This was one issue, but the other also I wrote about Dove. I'm asking whether this would be a more appropriate example. So this Dove campaign of Stop the Beauty Test campaign. So Stop the Beauty Test campaign.
Where you have written?
So I have not
She is
written
giving the example.
You wrote a blog on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So it was about not categorizing female into certain color or shape. So it was a very good campaign. I definitely agree with that, ma'am. But what usually Dove produces gender neutral products, but in all of their ads, they still employ female models only for their product advertisements. So
Dove.
yes,
For Dove, they are using general. They are not well-known models in their.
it is not. They're not well-known models, ma'am. The one ad that I'm talking about, it does not include well-known models, but they still employ only women models, ma'am. Though they produce gender-neutral products, they're still conforming to the stereotype of women.
No, you are mixing now two things. No? Once you are saying that beauty contests related to the females only, so they are trying to stop that.
No, the issue, what you said was campaign against
It was Stop the Beauty Test. Beauty test, ma'am.
test.
Like in general society, no, ma'am. The ad shows about how women are rejected for their size or their color. It shows like that. It
It's
just
not,
So they are saying
It's
that
not
this
the
must not be done.
it
It's
must not
right,
be.
you
It
can
is very
support-
right.
But then what is your understanding?
My understanding is that it could be more, it could reach more. I mean, it will be a more powerful message if they employ the normal ads of Dove. That they could employ male models as well, while saying Dove is a beauty product.
In society, man has never differentiated on colors. In Indian ethos system, his capacity to earn is more important. His health. So therefore, if it's a health food, they will show male.
Yes, sir.
Sturdiness, they will show male.
Okay.
There are certain attributes which are women. What is against women? Women may look very beautiful, but what is differentiated is don't differentiate them on a color basis. Once this comes to your mind, you are already a woman.
Okay.
So
first try to understand what is the meaning of unethical marketing when you are using that term.
Okay.
Because what blogs or what examples you are giving, that is mainly what contradicts in your mind. What are the things contradictory in the different advertisements or the marketing?
what will the male do in this case when the issue is not to discriminate women based on their height, weight, and color? What male will do in this?
So I did not say that we should not say the message, but what I meant was, if there are male models in normal ads, other ads of Dove, if there are male models, like beauty is not a singular concept for gender or females.
So all that you are saying, while women may not be discriminated, one of the discriminated appears to be that only female are used as model, not male.
Yes.
Now
So it's a different meaning.
They are not using anyone. They are using that rosebud.
Okay.
You
You have seen, huh?
Yes.
They
Yes.
dip the rosebud in, other one.
The dry skin.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, only two birds they
No.
can show you.
My point is, please, these are very small things, but it may leave a very large impact.
Okay. So,
So what else are you preparing?
for
What other things you are reading for this interaction?
so I'm concentrating on my subject of the graduation subject, and also
Subject, I told you it is important
yes.
because without electronics, e-vehicles don't run, communication doesn't run, IoT doesn't run, robotics doesn't run. So electronics is important. You cannot miss on them.
Okay.
You did some project also. What is the project you said?
It is about making digital products accessible to visually impaired people through braille. We made a small cost reduction, ma'am. Generally refreshable displays.
What was the product you wanted to was made
Was
to
it a
display?
handheld device with braille kind of keyboard?
Yes, ma'am. It measures about this much, ma'am. But it was more of a proof of concept. We did it with normal microcontrollers like Raspberry Pi, ma'am. But the idea was to reduce the cost of refreshable displays that are already there. It costs about 15,000 for refreshable displays.
Was it serving the purpose, objective of your project?
Yes, ma'am.
Cost was not the objective of your reducing the cost. Was that the only objective of your project?
Reducing the cost while making these things accessible to a lot of people. That was the main cause. We did it under 1,500.
Which digital technology you identified which should be made available to visually impaired?
Visually impaired.
For what purpose?
So for reading the PDFs and Word documents and other texts that are there, so we converted those texts into two series of braille alphabets, ma'am. So by touching and feeling, we were able to communicate the full length of the PDF. We invented certain measures to go around the problem. For example, if there is a word like if there's a phrase like in the street, so in would be relayed to the right hand, and for indicating that the word is over, we would use the next hand for relaying these words.
Nowadays, there are all the websites. There is a mandatory that it should be. The visually impaired people should understand that. So it has been already incorporated on all the websites. So that text to audio conversion is there.
Yes,
Isn't it better instead of having this thing?
Definitely, ma'am. But there are people who have multiple impairments. They do not.
Basically, who are the end users that you should be able to tell?
Okay, ma'am. Visually impaired and also those who are deaf.
Deaf and
Okay. Since we are engineers, did you look at the energy aspect? The energy policy of India, energy basket, energy capabilities. Did you look at it?
So on the broad scale, I looked at it. So
Okay.
that.
Did you look at constitutional provisions in various things? How much you know about the constitution, paras?
I know pretty well, sir, by the virtue of mains preparation. Although I have to brush up again, but I think I'll be able to manage
Okay.
these things.
Did you look at the economic aspects in economic policies of India? You read about it.
Yes, sir.
Which aspect interests you in
Eco-
economic development? Is the agriculture or the service sector? What does it interest you?
My interest is on both manufacturing and service sectors.
Okay. So
Yes.
please tell us something about manufacturing sector. Where do we stand today vis-a-vis world standards?
Yes, sir. So India produces the total basket. 28% is contributed by the industry sector in manufacturing, and also
How much is the industry sector contribution in GDP?
28%, sir.
28%?
28%.
No. Look at the figures. GDP contribution by industry
I thought I saw 28%, sir.
is about 17%.
Okay, sir. I'll look into it.
Look at those figures.
Sure,
I
sir.
may be corrected, but we thought it is going down. Out of the total industry activity, 28% is the contribution.
Okay, sir.
You understand two things? The economy is divided into sectors:
Yes.
industry sector, agriculture sector, and service sector.
Okay.
Service sector gives 62% to GDP.
Okay.
Two of them gives you 16-17%. Out of the industry, not all industry is manufacturing. Will all industry be manufacturing?
No, sir.
So out of the total industry contribution, 28% come from
From
manufacturing.
okay, sir.
That's a figure.
Okay, sir. That's all.
So you have to carefully reading them.
Sure, sir.
Are you keep on thinking too much, or your mind keeps on wandering and just?
No, I know, ma'am. I'm thinking, where did I go wrong? If I saw the figures wrong, or the source of information that I got.
I think you need
Yes,
to do
source-
some
Yeah.
means whatever you are doing or whatever you are mentioning, please do concentrate and do it thoroughly.
Sure.
You are switching. Your mind keeps on switching from one thing to other, then to other.
While you are attempting an answer, remain with that answer.
Sure.
If you have mistakenly said fine unless I have comprehend. If the board says okay, let it go. But the source should always be mostly government source
Okay, sir.
or well recognized bodies whose sources are used. Don't use the common source.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Do some meditation and do everything with concentration and thoroughly.
Sure, ma'am.
All the best.
Thank
But
you.
you are happy otherwise?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Enjoy?
Yes, sir.
Very nice.
You're
Good.
having very beautiful smile.
Yeah. Okay, all the best. Anything you want to ask me?
So about the hand gestures, I
It's
was
okay.
told
Doesn't matter.
that.
No.
Okay, sir.
As you grow in life, gestures keep changing. So whatever gestures now, keep them as it is.
Okay, sir.
Keep your smile, keep everything what you are. There is no need to change.
Okay.
That is what I asked.
Don't
I
pressurize yourself.
I could see that your mind was thinking so many things at the same time. And he was talking, your mind was wandering. So when this other person is saying something, please listen carefully.
Sure.
At that time, at the time of interview. Otherwise, you are very bright students. You will come to this level.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.